Hello,
Hi.
welcome.
Gabby.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Cynthia.
Nice to meet you.
Right.
Nice to meet you. So, what brings you to my office today?
We're here today because we were representing Panda High School, and they called us in to tell us that a couple of the kids were getting some asthma problems and like respiratory problems, and then they discovered that they had mold in the building, and we think it might have to deal with that.
Okay, so you want to know what legal recourse or what will be the legal repercussions against the school?
Yes.
Okay, when was the building built?
The school was built in 2006,
Okay, and when was the mold discovered?
about a month and a half ago.
Okay, the reason why I'm asking is because usually there's a limitation, a time limitation to bring a cause of action due to a construction defect. So we would be looking we assess the situation to see if the school, what are the legal, consequences to the school and what recourse the school might have against the builder of this building, because it's usually mold cases relate to construction defects and they stem from water leakage due to flaws in the construction or the design or whatever. Do you know the name of the construction company that built the school?
It's a BCG construction company.
Okay, do you know if they're still in business?
Yes.
Okay. So basically the school, you must be aware that the school has a duty to the students. Once you know that there's mold, you need to protect the students, because the school could be exposed to any lawsuits from the kids and their parents due to any respiratory condition that is developed because of the mold that the school is aware at this point. So you need to seek remediation of any mold and try to contain and what is called to stop the damages and mitigate them. So the school has that duty towards the students. The school also needs to see to a possible cause of action against the general contractor and any other subcontractor that was involved in this project. In order to do that, we might need to hire, if they say like any student file a cause of action against the school would have to file a cause of action against the general contractor, and then most likely they will hire an expert engineer that would try to connect the water intrusion and the eventual mold to the something that they...
Do you think it's the construction company, or is it the school's fault for...
Well, the school has a duty, the school now has a duty because they know about the existence of the mold towards the students, but the ultimate responsible is the construction company. If we can prove that there is a flaw, the school could file a cause of action against the construction company, and then through experts we would demonstrate that if there's a construction flaw, the construction company could even indemnify the school for any damages that the school had to pay to the students as damages in a lawsuit or whatever. If the students sue, they would also have to hire they would have either a construction, or both actually, a construction expert and a physician, because they have to correlate any respiratory problems that they are suffering to that mold exposure, because there could be other factors, and plaintiffs, they have to prove their burden in a court of law, and they have to show that it's not due to any gas leakage or any other cause that could be within the school, but it could be not within the school's control. So let's say if there's a gas leakage nearby that is causing that, then the school won't be as liable. So we would need to investigate what is the cause of action and what is causing the...
Do you know about how much all this would be?
These cases are expensive, basically because there are a lot of expert witnesses involved, and expert witnesses are expensive. So we could be talking in the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
So you think that the school wouldn't be as liable as the construction company would?
Well, as I said, like the liability of the school triggers once the school is aware of the mold problem. So they need to try to mitigate that and try to, prevent from happening in the future. So that's the school's duty. The construction defects are the company's duty, and the school has a cause of action against that construction company. So my advice would be to let the school know and to hire a company. You should go and try to hire a company to remedy like the mold and try to stop it, so any damages from there on are remedied and are stopped.
So as well as the students, the school may have a course of action again?
The school has a course of action against the construction company for any, if the school can prove that the mold is due to a construction defect. And, most likely, this is a new construction, so most likely, this is not supposed to happen if something is well constructed. So, in that sense, that's an easier burden to prove because it's a recent construction, so this shouldn't be happening. So any other questions?
Is this a sue, like, it's obviously a sue, but it's like a chain, like the parents to the school and the school to the company?
Correct. It could happen that way, or it's more complicated, but it could happen in the same lawsuits. You have multiple parties, and you can have a parent, you can have, if the school is sued, then the school can bring the construction company in the suit under the proposition that if the school is liable, then the school within that same lawsuit can prove that the liability is actually upon the construction company, and the construction company will be in that same suit to respond directly to the parent.
So it's between three people, the parent, the student, and the
It could be that way, and it's advisable. Or then the school subsequently could file a lawsuit against a construction company for any verdict or judgment that is imposed upon the school for this.
Okay.
So, any other questions?
No, thank you.
All right.
Go back to Panda.
Good luck.
Nice meeting you.
The same.
Thank
Good luck.
you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Hi, I'm here with my dad, Richard O'Connor, who works in his own company called Anical Development as a contractor. So Richard, how long have you been working as a contractor?
Since 1989, I built my first house, and after that I started building 2-3 spec homes. Spec homes are homes that you just build and you hope to sell them. And then I started in 1996 doing projects. Projects consist of 8, 9, 10 homes. I would buy raw land. I would fully develop. Fully develop means you would do the water, sewer, paving, and drainage, and then I would build the actual home and then sell them. And in I believe it was 1998, 97, I went and I took my general contractor's license, and ever since then I've had my license and I've been working in the construction industry and licensed by the Construction Industry Licensing Board.
As a contractor, have you ever come across asbestos?
Almost in the 20 years that I've been working, I may have, I'm not sure. I believe that it's in a lot of the materials, but it's a very small quantity that is used in those materials nowadays.
Can you give us your exact definition of asbestos, or what you think it
is? It is a mineral fiber that is used in construction materials as an insulator and a fire retardant.
How much do you think would it be to remove asbestos in current day America?
Minimal risk, I believe it's like $3 million. We spend about $3 million a year to have it removed nationwide. Correct.
How do asbestos abatement contractors avoid bringing asbestos out of the abatement area of their clothing?
They wear special suits that are called Tyvek suits, hoods, shoe covers, and special respirators.
Kind of like an ET?
Yes, just like that.
So I'm here with Enrique Hernandez, my dad, and we're going to talk a little bit about the cost and benefits of asbestos. First, Dad, can you tell me a little bit about the history of asbestos?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for having me here. And second of all, you're probably wondering how I got into asbestos. In most of my career, I've actually been focused on business administration and marketing.
Yeah.
And it happened that I was involved for 28 years in marketing and developing the hospitality business. And so, being in hotels, we have to deal with foreign countries and with Caribbean countries. And at the time of negotiating many of these contracts and remodeling these hotels, it turns out that many of them have asbestos. And in keeping with the U.S. standards, you of course have to get involved and study a little bit. And even though that's not my expertise, as a marketing person, I had to understand a little bit